All right, I'm doing things a little bit differently today. I have compiled a list of 13 of the common mistakes keeping you stuck or unfulfilled, and I want to help you stop or avoid them. Now, how I've compiled this list, I have talked to in the last 7 years of doing this, hundreds of people, probably more than that. And I've coached dozens of clients, and guess what? No matter people's age, race, background, or education. These are the common mistakes I have found across the board, which means we all experience these at some point in our life, right? And ultimately, what I want to help you do is if you do feel stuck, if you do feel unfulfilled, if you are lacking clarity and direction, if you feel empty, this is what I want to help you do because these are the 13 common mistakes I see people making, and I want to help you stop and avoid them. So, common mistake number one, negative mindset. Hands down, a negative mindset is going to keep you stuck in a negative thinking, feeling loop, getting more of the same. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting new results. Now, let me emphasize why a negative mindset is keeping you stuck. Here's the thing. Life is a self fulfilling prophecy. Whatever you are thinking about and feeling, you're going to get more of. So if you think life sucks and then you die, that's going to be your experience. If you think in lack and limitation and worry and stress, you're going to get more of that. And here's the thing. 80% of your daily thoughts tend to be negative until you start becoming aware of them. So I just want you to know that is common mistake number one, being stuck in that negative mindset, and you might not even be aware that's what you're doing. But again, focusing on the suck, talking about the suck, you're going to get more of the suck. So, what you have to do to flip this, you got to flip the script. You have to start telling the empowering story. You have to start thinking and talking about the results you actually want in your health, in business, in your finances, relationships, and more. So, common mistake number one is that negative mindset. And guess what? Your negative mindset is going to keep you stuck. You got to flip the script. Common mistake number two and how to avoid is lack of follow through. Now, this is a problem I found for myself years ago, and it can literally go under the radar. But guess what? When you lack follow through, when you start something or say you're going to do something and then you don't, you end up lacking self trust. And guess what? When you lack self trust, you actually don't trust others. So here's how I built my habit around follow through. And you got to start small because it is those 1% improvements that create huge change in your life. It was little things like this. I would collect the trash and put it at the top of the stairs. Now, how many times do you go up and down the stairs before you actually take the trash to the trash can? So that's where I started. When I collected the trash, I put it in the trash can. Men, especially, I find this one so annoying. Putting dirty dishes in the sink. Put your dirty dishes in the dishwasher. It's those little tiny habits that are going to create massive change in your life. So when you lack follow through, you actually lack self trust. And I am telling you, when you can start building that confidence and belief and say you're going to go to the gym, you say you're going to eat healthy, you say you're going to send that email, you say you're going to start that task, actually do it. That will change a lot of things in your life. Common mistake number three, keeping you stuck and unfulfilled, and how to avoid it is focusing on the past. Now, I see and I hear this all the time, but guess what? The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. That's a big one. I'm going to say it again. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. So here's the thing, when you keep talking about the past, it actually keeps your brain stuck in that negative thinking and feeling loop. Because I don't think most of us are talking about the good old days. We're talking about what didn't work, what we don't want. And again, you're going to keep getting more of it. So instead of focusing on the past, just like I love this analogy, this idea, your windshield is what, 10, 20 times bigger than your rear view mirror. However, most of us are stuck looking in that rear view mirror. I want to help you stay forward focused. Start talking about and thinking about and training your mind on what you do want and be forward focused because that's where you're going, not where you've been. All right. Common mistake number four, keeping you stuck and unfulfilled, is taking advice from people who aren't where you want to be. Why do we do this? Now, what I find is don't take relationship advice from people who are single, who are multi-time divorced, who are miserable in their relationship. Don't take relationship advice from them. Don't take business advice from somebody who doesn't have a business or isn't doesn't have the success that you seek. Find those people, find evidence of what you actually want. And if you can, ask them what they're doing. If there's somebody else, there's so many YouTubers out there who are literally, like myself, we're giving you the formula and the how to, how we got from where we are, and how we've created success in the different areas of life. Go and find the evidence in the people who have and are doing the thing you want to do and learn from them. Do not take health, business, relationship, or financial advice from people who are broke, sick, and not where you want to be. Common mistake number five, and this is a big one for many of you: procrastination. Again, this is putting things off. I'll start when I'm ready. I'll start next week. I'll start next month. I'll start next year. Here's what I emphasize: you may never be ready. All of your ducks may never be in a row. You have to start now, because guess what? Now, this present moment is the only time you have. And guess what? When you get to the root cause of procrastination, it's most likely fear of failure, overwhelm, the unknown. So the only way to bust through that is to actually take action. And since so much of procrastination is based in fear, I've literally trained my mind. Like, I eat fear for breakfast. Let's go. Like, there's a saying out there: eat the frog. And eat the frog is taking on that big task of the day to build that belief, confidence, and mindset muscle of taking action. So then your day just becomes easier. So that fifth mistake keeping you stuck and playing small is procrastination. The only time is now. Take action now. All right. Sixth common mistake keeping you stuck and unfulfilled in this negative feedback loop is not changing your environment. Now, I want to talk about your environment, obviously, your physical environment, the space that you live in, but also your social circle environment, the people you spend time with, because as the saying goes, you are the average of the five people you spend the most time with. Now, I have outgrown social circles many times in my life, and nothing wrong, no judgment where people are, but it's not where I want to be. And so, although, quote, change can be scary, but change is the only constant, removing yourself from environments that are no longer serving you is actually an act of self love. You have to remove yourself from those environments and put yourself in environments of people who have the habits you seek and the lifestyle you want, who are thinking bigger, who are ambitious and driven. That's the point of masterminds and coaches and joining chamber of commerce and different groups of people who are doing things differently. The only difference between the quote 3 percenters and the 97 percenters, those 3 percenters are doing things differently. And you have the ability to do that, but you're going to have to change your environment. You're going to have to either spend less time with people or completely remove people and social circles from your life. Again, it's an act of self love. But when you change your environment, it changes your mindset, it changes your focus. It literally will change your life. Now, when it comes to your home environment, when I have worked with clients who feel overwhelmed, stressed, scatterbrained, one of the first questions I ask is, well, what's your office look like? And 10 times out of 10, their office is a mess. Like, there's chaos and disorder. And if you have chaos and disorder externally, you're going to create chaos and disorder internally. So I'm telling you, when you tidy up, I love Marie Kondo, the art of tidying up. When you tidy up the inside, the external will reflect that as well. But your environment is so important. Okay. So it's time to change your physical environment and those social circles. This is a big one. I want to highlight this one. But the step number seven, one of the biggest common mistakes keeping you stuck and unfulfilled: self doubt. Self doubt is keeping you stuck and playing small. Self doubt can also look like imposter syndrome. Who am I to do this? Who are you not to do this? If you have that inspired idea or that inkling that you want to go do something, I'm telling you, the resources will unfold but you have to take action. So here's how you can remedy self-doubt. You got to start taking action. You have to build confidence. Find evidence on how you have created capability or success in one area of life, and then that will transfer into those other areas of life. But here's how I got out of self doubt and procrastination, because that's where I found myself when I first started my business in 2017. Who am I to do this, right? So much self doubt, which led to procrastination, not taking action, not creating content, $0 in my bank account. Here's how I got over myself. I created a why, a really strong why, and a vision that if I didn't show up and create content, I couldn't help somebody who had been stuck in my shoes. And I know how much pain that was. So I made it about other people. If I could just help one person, that became my inspiration and motivation, my driver, which has kept me consistent, building habits, creating content, and where I am today. So self doubt, you've got to let it go. Have so much self love for yourself that you draw a line in the sand and you say no more. Start taking action. All right, number 8, a common mistake keeping you stuck and unfulfilled is that lack and scarcity money mindset. I did a poll recently on LinkedIn asking a group of 32,000 CEOs, what is one of your current biggest pain point? And the number one pain point, more than 40% of people, is that inconsistent revenue. And here's what I want to share with you. Your money, like the current amount in your bank account, in your business, is a direct reflection of two things. It's your self-worth and it's your money mindset. And guess what? When you upgrade your self-worth, I love the saying, know your worth, then add tax. When you upgrade your self-worth, when you have confidence and belief that you know the service or the product you provide or sell or whatever that widget is, when you create that belief, then you will draw and get the sales that you actually want. So that inconsistent revenue stream has to do with your negative mindset. This is why all these 13 are going to come into play. They're all interconnected. But that lack and scarcity money mindset you have is your mindset. It's your habits. It's your inconsistency. It's lacking vision. It's so many things. But here's what I want you to know about this money mindset. When you upgrade your money mindset, when you upgrade your self worth, you're going to carry yourself differently. Let me share this statistic with you. This is how big the money mindset game is. 70%, and actually I've heard it even being closer to 80 and 90%. So the point is, most everyone who wins a major jackpot lottery, who comes into millions of dollars, blow it all within 3 to 5 years. You want to know why people do that? It's their money mindset. It's their internal set point. So think about a thermostat, right? Let's say if your thermostat is set at 75 degrees or $100,000 income, we will unknowingly, unconsciously self sabotage to bring it back to the known, our internal set point. The reverse goes into effect. If your set point is at 75 degrees, 100 grand, and it goes below, you'll do whatever you need to do to get back up to 100 grand, but that's it. So people who come into millions of dollars, if you don't raise your internal set point, if you don't raise your money blueprint, if you don't raise your self-worth, you're going to self-sabotage and blow it all, just like they've all done. So that's what I want you to understand about that lack scarcity mindset. It's an internal job. It's not the strategy. It's not necessarily your habits. Get this right first, then take action, then come up with your strategy, and you will create that consistent and raise up level to where you actually want to be. Let me add one more thing to this. When you're stuck in that lack scarcity mindset, and maybe not even about money, maybe it's about jobs. I see that a lot on LinkedIn, that people telling the same negative narrative that there's not enough jobs out there, or people dating, there's not enough good people out there. When you're stuck in a lack and scarcity mindset, you're going to keep getting more lack and scarcity. So how do you flip it? Gratitude. Something I do with my coaching clients, they get a daily accountability dashboard and a tracker. One of their tasks every single day is to think of 3 things from that day for which they are grateful. So guess what? Even if you had the worst day ever, if you can think of 3 things, I woke up today, the sun was shining, I have a roof over my head, I have a shirt on my back, I was able to eat. When you shift from the suck and you focused on gratitude, you actually change right then your thinking patterns, you change your emotions, and guess what? By living from an attitude of gratitude, you actually bring more things into your life to be grateful for. So, in order to get out of that lack scarcity, up your self worth, your money mindset, and gratitude, I'm telling you that's key. All right, number nine mistake, common mistake I see people do that are keeping them stuck and unfulfilled, and how to avoid it, is distraction and numbing out. We are constantly inundated and we live in a distracted society, right? We're connected to our phones 24/7, 365. But without focus, here's what distraction does, especially business owners and entrepreneurs. I see this all the time. You're so distracted trying to do 100 million things. You're not all focused and going in on one thing, which means your energy and focus is diluted, which is going to create shitty, unwanted results. So, distraction and numbing out also looks like scrolling on social media, eating and drinking, shopping, Netflix. You've got to have some self discipline around these distractions and your numbing agents. This comes down to self awareness, but I'm going to get to that. And when you can discipline yourself and like shut out the distractions, that's how you create focus and create the success and results you actually want. So if you find yourself stuck in the distraction, don't have focus, numbing out, that's what you got to do. You got to create focus and have some self discipline. All right. We're almost there. Okay. Four more. Number 10, common mistake I see people do, keeping them stuck and unfulfilled, is staying in your comfort zone. And gosh dang it, I call your comfort zone a boring ass box because it is. It really is. Because the life you seek, the experiences you want, the relationships, the money, the success, the adventure are going to all be outside of that boring ass box. You have to take risks. You have to try new things. And I don't have a mindset around failure. Failure does not bother me. I actually go all in. I love the acronym for fail. First attempt in learning. I actually do the opposite. I tend to jump all in and kind of figure it out as I go, which doesn't always work out, but I learn along the way. So here's the thing, when you stay in your comfort zone, you're actually settling for mediocrity. You're settling for this will do. I see people for decades settling in relationships because they're afraid to change or afraid to be alone. And I'm telling you, please, you have this one shot at life. Why in the hell would you settle for this will do? Like, this will do. Mediocrity will not do. Get out of the status quo. Want more for yourself. I hope. All right, number 11. This is a big one, and I actually have a totally free resource on my website. Let me share this with you real quick. People who lack clarity and vision in their life, it's like if you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there. So, this totally free resource on my website is called the Life Assessment. I ask you some questions to help you create clarity, to help you create vision. Again, free resource. I invite you to take that. But here's the thing. When you lack clarity and vision, then you're literally stuck in autopilot on a hamster wheel going nowhere. So here's what I offer you. In order to create clarity and direction in your life, ask questions. What lights you up? What brings you joy? And find more of that. It doesn't necessarily mean quitting your job or having to move somewhere else, but maybe it means having more adventure in your life, having more social activities, finding that passion project, putting yourself in community projects. Figure out what lights you up and get off that hamster wheel going nowhere. Common mistake number 12. So two left. We're almost there. Is not being aligned in your values. So this was huge for me. And this is why I realized for me, a 9 to 5 felt like a soul sucking career. It was something I could not do. And I quit my job in 2017. You have to know what your values are. And for me, I found out I value being creative. I value time and financial freedom. I value adventure. So for me, being stuck in a 9 to 5 with limited vacation, having like monotony was not in line with my values. So here's what I offer that. Number one, you have to figure out what your values are. And there's Dr. John D. Martini. I think he's phenomenal with this free resource on his website. Figure out what your values are. This is something I do with my coaching clients. We go through a very detailed, I think there's like 12-step questions on figuring out what you value, what lights you up, why you wake up every day, and then it's creating a life in line with your values. So that's what I want to offer you. A lot of times when you feel stuck and unfulfilled and not happy, it's because you're not in a line with your values. The 13th common mistake that I have found people do that are keeping them stuck, unfulfilled, and unhappy is lacking self awareness. Now, I take my coaching clients through four main pillars, but that's the very first pillar in creating change in your life is becoming aware. Because if you're not aware of your daily thoughts, if you're not aware of the emotions you stay stuck in, if you're not aware of your habits, because those three things, thoughts, emotions, and habits, are creating every result in your life, they're creating your identity. It's called your state of being. If you're not aware of that, you can't create change. And also, newsflash, uh, secret announcement, that's how you create change in your life. You have to change who you are being. I think about it as like reinventing yourself. If you're stuck in self doubt, procrastination, so let me bring these full circle. If you're stuck in self doubt, procrastination, lacking clarity, what would the opposite of that be? Somebody with confidence, somebody with vision, somebody who's consistent in taking action. Those two individuals are going to have completely different outputs and results in life. So that's what change really comes down to, self awareness. So here's what I want to offer you. I love this saying that what you've done that has gotten you to today is not going to get you to where you want to be. If you're ready to create that awareness, if you seek accountability, if you want a roadmap to get you from where you are to where you want to be, I provide one on one coaching. I offer a free call. So here's what I want you to do. If you're ready for change and you align with or found yourself in some or all of these 13 common mistakes, now is the time to create change in your life. Don't put this off until you're ready because you may never be ready. To learn more about my one on one coaching, you can visit my website, heatherhakes.com. But I just want to offer you that you can live the life you seek. You can have the financial abundance you want, the health, the positive mindset. You can be happy and fulfilled. You can have amazing relationships. You can create any life you choose. But first, you have to get out of your own way. If you have any questions regarding this, I invite you, number one, to check out my one on one coaching. Send me a DM, send me an email. I'm here to help you. Because, I think that's my biggest driver is I know what's possible for you. We can all reach our full potential. We can all be living our best life, but the majority of people aren't. And it's time to stop that. Become self aware, start living mindfully and intentionally, become aware of these 13 common mistakes and shift. And I'm telling you, anything you desire is possible when you get out of your own way. Thanks for joining me.